Qelbree. I lasted exactly 1 day on this medication last time. 1 day. The side effects were so intense, the burning pain, the headaches, the nausea, and throwing up, which is something I only do like once every 5 to 10 years. It was so bad during a busy time in my life that I had to quit after just 1 day. So why then am I holding this bottle again? Well, my ADHD provider and I had a long discussion about this, and we determined that even though 200 milligrams is the standard dose, it was probably just too much for my body. So we've decided to try this again with 100 milligrams. And that's why we're here today, my friends, because I'm going to be documenting what happens on 100 milligrams of Qelbree every single day that my body can continue to stand it. Will I see some benefits or will I continue to see some boss level side effects? We'll see. You can call this Qelbree the redemption round. Here's day one. Greetings, my friends. Round one is in the books. I took Qelbree last night at 7 p.m. Why at night? Well, if you remember from my 200 milligram video where I failed Qelbree after just 1 day, extreme tiredness, a very sedating effect, was one of the major issues. I was so tired after taking it in the morning that I had to sleep. I couldn't even force myself to stay awake. I just fell asleep several times during the day. And that combined with the nausea, side effect, throwing up, all that is why I quit it after 1 day. So this time my provider and I decided that I would take it at night and we would see if that helped. Now, Qelbree is supposed to give you energy. So that's why most people don't take it at night, because it could cause insomnia. Well, after taking it at 7 p.m., at about 8:30 p.m., started to get the headache. I'm like, uh-oh, here we go again, this familiar feeling. Started to feel a little bit dizzy, lightheaded, but that's it. It was just a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I can handle this. Went to bed, fell asleep fine. But then two things happened. The first thing was that I had very nightmarish type dreams. We're talking about dreams where I'm experiencing a nuclear war in my city, and no one wants to have dreams like that. The other thing is that I woke up about 90 minutes before I normally do, and I couldn't go back to sleep, so I got up and started the day. But that was basically it. So I survived round one. I mean, this was nothing like when I started on 200 milligrams and had to quit after the first day. So I'm very pleased with that. Let's see what happens tomorrow. See you then. Greetings, my friends. Round two is in the books. And this was a little bit different. The good news is that I had no headaches at all. I did have slight dizziness. The real problem came with trying to get to sleep. So again, I took the dose at about 7 p.m. And when I tried to go to bed, I could not sleep. I was up for like 2 hours in bed before I could finally fall asleep. And then I woke up really early again and felt drained and tired and, a little bit difficult to start the day. But probably the weirdest thing that happened was my dreams again. Now, the night before, I'd had dreams about nuclear explosion in my city. I mean, it was very traumatic and nightmarish. And this time, it was psychological. So I had dreams where people I knew were coming up to me and pointing out insecurities or things they didn't like about me. Um, things that a friend would never say to a friend. And it was a little bit jarring. But going back to the sleep issue, something's going to have to give. So I think I'm going to make a change for day 3. See you then. Greetings, my friends. Round three is in the books. So, after the insomnia and the weird Inception like dreams, I decided to make a change. Instead of taking my dose last night at 7 p.m., I took it this morning at 10 a.m. And guess what? Things turned out pretty well. I had energy fluctuations where I'd have bursts of energy and then a little bit of tiredness and bursts of energies. No headaches, no dizziness. I fell asleep pretty quickly last night. Didn't have any weird dreams, but I did still wake up 90 minutes early and got up early to start the day. But hey, you know what? I would call day three a win. Let's see what happens on day four. Greetings, friends. Round four is in the books. So I took Qelbree in the morning again, and throughout the day, I had energy fluctuations with some dips of tiredness, sort of like I've had the last couple of days. I had no headaches. I had no dizziness. I did have a couple of other side effects, though, and those side effects were number one, I woke up early, about 3 hours early than normal. I was up for about an hour and a half and then finally was able to get back to sleep. So we're still having sleep issues while on Qelbree. The second is that I've been having elevated hand tremors. Now, those of you who have been following me know that I've had hand tremors my entire life, but just over the last 24 hours, those hand tremors have been elevated just a little bit, but definitely noticeable by myself and the people around me. Another side effect that I had was psychological dreams again. So here's how it went. So I've recently gotten off of my second round of the metabolism reset diet. It's been very, very good to me. I lost 20 pounds and I'm very happy with that. So in my dream, people were coming up to me and I was telling them, yes, guess what? I just lost 20 pounds on a diet. And they would look at me and they would say, really? Because it looks like you just gained it all back. And so those are the type of weird type of dreams that I've been having while on Qelbree. I find them interesting. And I think that's about it. So far, not too bad, but let's see what happens in round five tomorrow. See you then. Greetings, my friends. Round five is in the books. All right, this is going to be a rather interesting update, and here's why. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I try therapies besides medication to try to deal with my ADHD and more specifically, my executive functioning issues. So I've been doing lens neurofeedback for a while through my naturopathic doctor. And in the last couple of sessions, they've decided to shake things up a little bit and they've tried some different settings that they haven't normally used on me to see if that would have any effect on my focus and motivation. And this first happened just over a week ago before I started Qelbree. And after they did the session, I had a little bit more focus, it seemed. It was nothing big, and it's something that could have been, within the realms of errors, like when they do, polls or surveys, there's always a little error area. And I could have fallen into that area. I don't know. But when they did this last session just the other day, I definitely had more focus after the session was over. And soon I went into hyperfocus mode. And when I went into hyperfocus mode, guess what I did again? That's right. I created another ADHD song video. Now, a few of you in the comments have been asking me to produce a video that kind of deals with hyperfocus. So that's what this song targets. It's called ADHD the Song, The Laser Tunnel. And I'll be sure to link to that in the description so that you can go take a look at it. And that's what I did during my hyperfocus. It was about 48 different hours. In fact, I didn't get to sleep until 2 a.m. and I had no trouble sleeping, going to bed at 2 a.m., got up at 8, so 6 hours sleep, which is okay. The problem is that this kind of mixes, doing this while I'm doing Qelbree Yeah, it's like, okay, did Qelbree attribute to that or did Lynn's neurofeedback attribute to that? And in this case, I believe it was Lynn's neurofeedback because I'm only on 100 milligrams of Qelbree, and that generally is not enough to help any type of ADHD issues, although it has given me some energy, which has been good. So today happens to be Thanksgiving. Although you won't be seeing this for several days, since I tape every single day and then put them together in a week-long video, I do hope that you had a happy Thanksgiving for those of you who celebrate. Hope you get the chance to see the video. And this was a great 24 hours for me. Let's see what happens tomorrow in round 6. See you then. Greetings, my friends. Round 6 is in the books. As far as benefits go over the last 24 hours, I've still had that slight focus. And since that's an executive functioning issue, I'm really happy with that. However, I still attribute that to Lynn's neurofeedback therapy because of the low dose of Qelbree that I'm on. I'm not 100% sure on that though. As far as side effects go, I've had slightly elevated hand tremors. Nothing too bad. I can live with that. So I'll see my provider in about 5 days and we'll see if I'm boosted up to 200 milligrams. And if you saw my video, I lasted 1 day on Qelbree. You'll know what happened when I initially started just on 200 milligrams. I think I'll be fine because we kind of did a back step so that I could build up a tolerance to it. And I'm kind of looking forward to taking the next step. All right, that's it for today. We will see you tomorrow. Greetings, my friends. Round 7 and my first week on Qelbree 100 milligrams is in the book. So over the last 24 hours, I've had some energy as far as benefits go. And as far as side effects go, I've still had some slightly elevated hand tremors. I've had some nightmare dreams and a slight headache. Nothing at all that I can't handle. So that's pretty much the update for today. You know, I was thinking because every single day I edit these videos and I get a week's worth of edits and then I upload it to YouTube. And as I've been editing, I've been choosing these boxing metaphors, you know, Joe versus Qelbree, where we're like boxing, you know, day 1, day 2, round 1, round 2. And I just started thinking this morning, why are we fighting? That's not the purpose of Qelbree. The purpose of Qelbree is to help you. Yes, there's side effects and everything, but it's not a battle between me and Qelbree. I mean, you know, why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Don't worry, I won't quit my day job. Oh, there goes the light. Huh. Hey, well, that's good because that segments us right into bloopers. Greetings, my friends. Round 7 and the week is in the books. So, that was a good start. All right, so this is going to be a very interesting update. And here's why. Lately, especially in the last 24 hours, why am I staring at the computer screen and not the camera? Sorry about that. I'm talking to you like you're down here. Hi, how you doing? And to top it off, the computer screen's blank. I turn it off when I record. And so I was staring at a black screen. ADHD.